If you think education is expensive, try ignorance. And after listening to the debate in the House today, or rather the presentation of the Special Prosecutor's Bill, or the bill bringing into effect, giving life and legitimacy to a special prosecutor, it is against this backdrop I say that if you think fighting corruption is expensive, try not fighting it. Because every flubble hack is of the view that the cost of a special prosecutor is too much. After hearing some of the deliveries in the House today, I would say that the cost of fighting corruption is nothing compared to what corruption have cost us.
ST.JUDE Hospital, there was just, and I believe in transparency. After he'd spent $89 million on the box, there was another $70 million only for the bottom floor, I mean, you think people are listening to that? Only for the bottom floor. It's not nothing I say, Chief. Not nothing I say, Chief. I never call you comrade. It's not nothing I'll never do that. I'll never do that. It's not nothing I say, It's in the document. Can I see the document? Like the one I gave you. Can I see it? Sergeant of Arms, take the document for me, please. I'll get back to you. You can trust me. I'll get back to you. Because Mr. Speaker, the leader of the opposition wants to open the door. Thank you very much, sir. 15th July 2021. The Department of Economic Development is in receipt of a draft finance agreement for the St.JUDE Hospital reconstruction project from, now I don't want to mention the company's name, that's not my style. I don't want to do it. Because as the member of Kashi South, you see anybody that bluffed the government, I vetted them in. Because the government, if a prime minister can allow a businessman to bluff him and take a bribe, it's his fault. So I don't mention nobody's name. I don't mention people's names. We will be grateful if you'd review and provide feedback on same at the earliest. Bill finance agreement between the government of St. Lucia and the company for the construction and finance of the St.JUDE Hospital in Auger. Listen, Mr. Speaker, all the terms are there, works, blah, blah, blah. And you see, Mr. Speaker, and tell people the hospital will finish in 6 months. We'll have a brand new hospital in 6 months. And I heard somebody who is most famous for losing elections make the echo, yes, you have a new hospital in 6 months. 6 months. Listen to the second schedule. The second schedule, the works. The works involve the construction of post-structural frame elements, which entails architectural, mechanical, electrical and plumbing, as well as civil and side works. These elements will be incorporated into the finished frame in order to bring the structure of St.JUDE into use. See description of the first schedule. Work schedule, works contract. The works are captured in 2 works contracts awarded to the company. Architectural works and transition costs to bring the ground floor into use. The ground floor. And you tell people, if you have a brand new house in 6 months. The ground floor. The 4th schedule. The client agrees to enter into a payment plan and therefore agree to settle the financial obligations of the company over a period of 1 year. A payment plan over a period of 1 year from the date the works are completed, Mr. Speaker. And listen to it. Architectural works. What's the meaning of that? 22,883,687.58. Architectural works. Ground floor works. 44,143,951.21 cents. Subtotal works. 56,977,651.79 cents. VAT 7.1 million 102,204. Total 64,099,843. Finance costs, interest, Mr. Speaker, and remember shows that is a banker, a short-term financing agreement. The interest cost is $6,653,811. The grand total $70,773,864 for the ground floor of a hospital. The ground floor alone. Now, listen to the payments. And you know, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, you know, Mr. Speaker, you know, this job, Mr. Speaker, this job is a very lonely job. Because when I go home at nights and I think about the tasks ahead for this country, how the people in my constituency, they come to me to want to send their children to school. They want, the roads are bad. And I think of that waste, Mr. Speaker. It really hurts my heart, Mr. Speaker. The loneliness engulfs me. Because I also know that there are men and women who feel, the men and women we feel. Mr. Speaker, you find a hospital structure. You commission an inquiry into the hospital structure. You pay $1 million for it. Again, I'm not against a person who paid $1 million. Nothing. You see, Mr. Speaker, I don't get involved in these kind of things. I get involved in the policy makers, not the fellows who make the money. The decision, thank you very much. The decision makers, Mr. Speaker, you have an audit, you pay $1 million for it, $985,000 to be exact. You want exact figures. The audit tells you that there are issues in the hospital, but it can be used for the purpose of a hospital. You have, oh my God, Mr. Speaker, you have millions of dollars of material on the site. Last month we did an inventory on the stuff on the site, and it will break your heart, Mr. Speaker. It will break your heart because you know we talk about ST.JUDE's. It will break your heart to tell you the volume of material that was on the site in ST.JUDE, and they allowed it to rotten. Medical equipment. You get into government. You take the police and you go and search places to collect material. Then you find most of the material to complete the hospital, most of it, and I'm going to bring the inventory list, but it's only about, because as the leader of government business says, the member of Microsoft, we're going to have a debate on ST.JUDE.
That's right.
We're going to have a debate on ST.JUDE. Because the propaganda that is spent about hospital in 6 months, we must clarify, Mr. Speaker. There is an inventory that shows material that could be used was allowed to waste and rotten. Then you go and you destroy 2 buildings. What did they? He didn't do it? No, I get a new copy. I've ended. If it's copy you want, chief, copies you have to see they're coming. You destroyed 2 buildings. Up to today, you cannot tell the people of St. Lucia why you destroyed these 2 buildings. You put a bulldozer in it. The same way you put a bulldozer in the prison and you pay twice for it. You like this bulldozer thing. The same way you put a bulldozer in the bridge in Soufrière and you lose election for it. The same way you propose to put a bulldozer in this building and mash it up. You like bulldozers. You refuse to use the material that was there to complete the hospital. The audit tells you you can complete the hospital even though there are some problems. You send somebody to there, you send somebody in there, you send your surrogates in there, one of them says to open their hand, then you can't pass the corridor. So on that basis, you stop. Then you leave it for 3 years. Goodness gracious, man. You allow the building to rotten. You leave it closed for 3 years. You spend $89 million on a block. And you have liabilities of $34 million that I have to pay.
In addition to the
89 years.
and
plus another 70 for the ground floor alone.
just the ground.
That is the reality of St. Jude's, of the block. Plus the fact that we spent $90 million on the old buildings. And look at how you paid it back. And listen to the payment will be carried over the period of 1 year in the following manner. 1 year. You mean to tell me this Minister of Finance, say you have a degree in economics, finance and everything else, will look for any way where you pay back a loan in 1 year? $70 million in 1 year? I mean, all the advisors, all the accountants and things that are advising you. 70, I'm sure. I have my money down on that. No banker. If you bring that for banker, the banker will tell you it's too good to be true. Leave his office. The banker will say it's too good to be true. Leave his office. This is not bridging finance, It's not a bridging finance that say, you say to yourself, listen to me, I'm getting a loan, so give me some money and I'll give you back the money as I can. You have no idea where you're getting it from. Listen to how you're getting it. The payment will be carried over the period of 1 year in the following manner. Within 3 months of signing this agreement, the client will pay EC $26 million in Eastern Caribbean currency, the source being a loan from the Republic of China in Taiwan, identified as Loan Agreement 602184007. Now let me tell you something. Mr. Speaker. You see that same loan agreement? It was earmarked to do something else. The second quarter payment, and I think I have the information. If they doubt me, I have the information. The second quarter payment will be carried out by the client, paying to the company EC $10,752,000. The source being the government of St. Lucia. So for somewhere you're going to get $10 million in serious cash flow problems. When you run a deficit in your current account of over 7%, you'll find $10 million to pay the phone. Yes. The third payment will be carried out by the client, paying the company EC $18,710,000. The source being the government of St. Lucia. The fourth quarter payment will be carried out by the client, paying to the company EC $14,478,994.80. The source being from the government of St. Lucia. Now listen to the clause, and you must take your mind to the airport. Remember, the airport had a finder's fee. Remember that? Because when the airport was supposed to be financed, there was a finder's fee until the bank said, no, I give you the money. There's a finder's fee. Listen to the thing now. In the case of late payment of any invoice, submitted by the company, the client will pay interest of 1% per day. Because the client knows he's going to be late. 1% per day to the company on the amount overdue. 1% per day. Now, Robert Lewis was a mathematician. What's 1% of $69 million? What's it? $69,000 a day. I hope the public of St. Lucia, I hope we're hearing that, because forget about your political bias. Forget about if you think Philip J. Pierre is this and that. Forget about that. 1% per day on the late payment, Mr. Speaker. So if you're on the first late loan payment, you pay $69,000. 10 days, $690,000. After you have an interest rate of $6 million per year. Goodness gracious. But no, it's bravado. Let's demonstrate. Because you know the facts, Mr. Speaker. Then the airport is another story. The airport is even bigger money. The airport is even bigger money.